Well, good morning everyone, and welcome back to live strolls with myself and Azra. It is Saturday morning, the 1st of November, so pinch punch, first day of the month and all that nonsense. It is quite windy today. We had quite a lot of rain for Halloween last night actually. James came back like a drowned rat. But yes, he had a good time. He got loads of sweets. I reckon we must have had about 30 knocks on the door last night. And I don't think that's an exaggeration. I really don't. I'm trying not to be a Scrooge, but it sets the dogs off every time. It is a nightmare. Anyway, all the kids that came to the door were well fed, and to be fair to them, they're all very polite. So fair dues to all the kids that came, certainly to our door last night. They were very well behaved, very well mannered and very polite, so good for them, good for their parents. All of them were with their parents as well. So, if you didn't know, this time last week we were in Euro Disney, and I'll go through obviously everything we did in a bit, but obviously my intention was on Tuesday to do a live and have a little chat about what we got up to. But on the way back we had a bit of a disaster by the Eurostar train being cancelled whilst we were on the first train to catch the second train, and as such it all became very, very stressful and very, very rushed. Anyway, we got to Lille, Europe, and did manage to get another Eurostar back to St Pancras International. But whilst running to get said train, had a bit of a fall and did a bit of damage to my leg, hence why we've not been out doing these lives until now. And to be honest with you guys, it's absolutely still killing me, my leg, at the minute. But I wanted to get back out. I think the movement and everything else will help it. But for now, thank you for the like. I just saw that coming in. Last week, we'll go back to the Thursday. We went up to London and stayed at the Travel Lodge in Farringdon, which is about a 10-minute walk from St Pancras International. And it was the most uncomfortable night of my life. The bed was old and rickety, and the pillows that they gave were probably for 5-year-olds. They were awful. Now, we got there about 9 o'clock at night, and we left at 5 o'clock in the morning, so there was no point obviously having that conversation with anyone, because quite frankly there was no point. However, I did have a conversation with someone when we got back, and to be fair to them, after a couple of emails, they did reimburse the money for the hotel stay, so I can't moan, other than it put all of us in a bit of a tired state on the Friday morning when we got up, because all of us were in the same boat. And to be honest, the hotel is due for renovation, so don't let me put you off going there, but don't go there yet. That's what I'll say. Anyway, so we arrived at St Pancras at 5:15. The check-in process for Eurostar was a little bit confusing to start with. Now, it did flow, and you just have to So you just have to read the signs, guys. But when you've not done it before, it's all very new, but it worked. Once you're through the other side, and I will warn you now, if you ever do go from St Pancras International, once you're the other side, there is not a lot there. A couple of eateries and a small duty free, and that is it. And not enough seating. Now, we were quite lucky because a couple of the early trains went as we got through, so we did manage to sit down. But if you were sort of behind that initial early rush, you wouldn't have had anywhere to sit down until the train was ready to be called. That was all fairly self-explanatory. The sort of boarding process. I think the carriages on the Eurostar probably could be signed a bit better. Some of them were, some of them weren't, and that was a frustrating thing. Anyway, on the Eurostar, all very easy, although I had the biggest bloke sitting next to me, so I probably only had about 3/4 of a seat, which drove me nuts, but I just shut my eyes and dozed. It was about an hour to Lille, Europe, where we then got off. There is a short and there is also the vlog of the travel day out there, if anyone is interested. And the Lille, Europe, there was a little bit more, I guess, to do there than probably even St Pancras, but not a lot. It is just a train station. There is a huge shopping centre sort of opposite Lille, Europe, but not having been there before and not really knowing the process, didn't really want to go out the station to have to come back in and all that sort of stuff, so we didn't go out. But there, depending on how long you've got, clearly coming back in the end, we would know we would have had a chance to have done anything like that, but I'll come on to that later. Caught the second train to Euro Disney after being there for an hour, which we knew was going to be the case. Again, very, very straightforward all the way into Euro Disney. We had one stop before, which was Charles de Gaulle, the airport in Paris. Again, all very, very straightforward. We had sort of premier seating going from the Lille to Euro Disney, which was very, very comfortable. It's probably about an hour and 20, I reckon, from Lille down to Euro Disney. So again, it allowed you to sort of have a bit of a doze, as it were, and yeah, just sort of try and refresh a little bit. You've always got one eye sort of open, or one ear open, shall we say, because obviously you're not used to it, where you're going and what have you. Anyway, arrived at Euro Disney, and we'd paid for the Disney Express, so that is when you take your suitcases to the sort of Disney baggage sort of desk at the station, and they then take all your stuff to the hotel, so you don't have to do all that or pay for the lockers and what have you at the station. Anyway, again, quite a straightforward process. I didn't really record any of that because, again, it is difficult when you've got loads of people around you trying to record stuff like that. I started sort of the proper vlog as soon as we stepped out of the station. And we made our way to what I call Hollywood Studios. I think it's actually called Walt Disney Studios in Paris. And got in there very straightforwardly. I can't even remember, if I'm honest with you, what our first ride was. I want to say it was the Hollywood Tower of Terror, but it could just have likely been Avengers. I really can't remember now, to be honest with you. But we were in there for 5.5 hours before we had our meal at the Pim kitchen, and that was all very, very nice. I don't know if it was worth €40 each, if I'm honest with you, but you are in Disney, so you are paying Disney prices, aren't you? Come on, Azra. And yeah, she's going to the loo now, so just have to bear with me a second. I'll sort that out as soon as she's done. But yeah, €120 later, felt a little bit fleeced, guys, to be honest with you. Right, I'm just going to sort this out and then we'll be straight back. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. Hi to everyone saying hi. There's Azra. Just bear with me a second. Azra, wait, please. Azra, good girl. Good girl. Chill. Right. Come on in. Good girl. So, yeah, €120 later, felt a little bit fleeced, but it is Disney, so you just have to accept it. We were pretty knackered by this time, guys. We'd been on the go since 4 o'clock, so we all decided that we were going to walk back to the Hotel Santa Fe, which, if you know Disney, will know it is about a 15 to 20 minute walk. Azra, good girl. From the Disney parks. It took us probably 15 minutes from Pim's kitchen, which is well within Hollywood Studios, so we weren't walking that fast, but briskly enough, to be honest. Hotel Santa Fe, I have done a room tour and a couple of walk-arounds in the vlogs that are either out or coming out. So if you are interested, certainly watch the first travel day vlog. You will see the Santa Fe room tour in that one. It's the lesser of the 5 hotels, but I think for Disney, forget the star rating, because you are only there, or your room is only there for a base, and as such it doesn't really matter. And I will say it was absolutely fine. You wouldn't have known it was a 2-star at all. And I've stayed in Shanghai and I've stayed in New York, and yes, you might get a little bit more sort of luxurious stuff in the bathroom, and perhaps the breakfast at New York was nicer, but the breakfast at Santa Fe was more than sufficient, and it was fine. A couple of tips from me, and I have put this in the vlog as well, but should anyone be going, if you are staying at any of the hotels, get in there for 7 o'clock when they open, because you need to utilise your magic hour as much as you can. I am going to have a sit down in a minute, guys. There are a couple of benches now. If you were with me at the beginning, you will know that I am still suffering pretty badly with my leg at the minute after the fall at Lille Europe coming back, and I do really need to sit down. It's absolutely killing me. I don't know whether you can tell this if you've been with me before, but the pace of this walk is significantly slower than it normally would be, because I just physically cannot do it at the minute. I just wanted to get out and start getting me exercise again. But I'll probably pay for this during the day today. You can hear a train in the background just pulling into Meldress train station. The wind must be in the right direction this morning for that, because it is a bit of a distance away. So after we'd done the room tour, and obviously I think we were at the hotel probably for about an hour, so it allowed us just to sort of freshen up, get changed, and then we wanted to go back for the fireworks. Now the reason we said we wanted to go to the fireworks on Friday is because it was supposed to be the drier of the 2 nights. How wrong were we? It was raining cats and dogs on Friday evening. Well, certainly by the time we got to the park it was. When we left, there was a few spots. It wasn't too bad, as you'll see from the vlog that came out, because I was recording it. And by the time we got to the sort of Disney Village, it was pretty heavily raining. I will say, it did rescind the rain, and we were able to see the fireworks. Although we didn't see the drones, they didn't put the drones up. But I've seen the drones in plenty of other vlogs, so I am not overly worried that we missed that really. But I'm pleased we did it, and the Saturday wasn't much better, and I believe the Saturday was actually windier, so they definitely wouldn't have put the drones up on Saturday night. And we sort of very quickly came to the realisation that we couldn't do the fireworks again on the Saturday night. We were just all so tired. Azra, wait. Just bear with me, guys, just 1 sec. Right, sorry about that, we are back. You cannot do the impossible. We'd been on the go all day on the Friday, and by the time we got to bed on the Friday, it was about 11 o'clock. Right, here I am just going to sit down just for a minute, guys. Just bear with. Oh. Azra, wait. Right. Yeah, so you just cannot keep doing the impossible. And this is why I always say, when you go to these parks, just have a good think about how you're going to do it and manage your time. Especially, not so much for Disney, you're at Disney because there are only 2 parks. Now, we were there for 3 days and we managed our time reasonably well, I would say. Especially the last day, it was quite relaxed actually. But the second day we were in the main Disney park. Azra, sit. There we go. Good girl. We were in the main Disney park all day. We got there for the magic hours. As I said earlier, use the magic hour from 8 till 9 if you're staying on site. It is so important to get some of the big rides done. They open up the big rides. So when we were in the main Disney park on the Saturday, we managed to do Big Thunder Mountain and also Space Mountain, both well before 8:30. And I think we may have done Space Mountain twice, maybe, because Pirates of the Caribbean wasn't open, nor was Peter Pan, and don't think Indiana Jones was either. Then 9 o'clock came, we did Pirates of the Caribbean, Indiana Jones. So we did all the rides that we wanted to do apart from Peter Pan, but I'm not overly worried that we didn't get onto that in the end. It was just all the time, it was just an hour or more. It just wasn't worth the wait, to be honest with you. Right, I think we are going to continue, but because of my lack of pace, we're going to go this way. We're not going to do that whole corner because I really am struggling today, guys. And I've just seen the time as well. I really need to be going out at 7 or just after. And it's, what's it now, 22. So yeah, that is my pace at the minute, guys. We went out and usually I could get around this whole stroll in half an hour, and I just physically am struggling at the moment. I really am. So yes, annoying. I think when we get to the end of the path, we're going to call this one a day. It's just good to have been back on the lives. If I've missed any chats, I am sorry. Hi to everyone saying hi. As I say, it's good to be back on and having a chat. So yeah, right guys, thank you very much for joining up. We were going to try and do this tomorrow. We will try and do a longer one tomorrow, and we will go from there. Thanks for your company this morning. Cheers guys.